Hello, welcome back to Higurashi. Tsumihoroboshi chapter. I forgot. I think it's 5, halfway point. Pretty good last last session. Since Rina got killed very early, honestly. I thought it would build up to a bit more, but it was more of a spur of the moment thing. Which is cool. I thought it was. It it I guess I didn't expect it, which is nice. Pretty brutal too. But Rena's dead. I typed this in a different three episodes ago actually. Replying, I actually don't hate the idea that Shion, because someone, if Rina is the person in Tsumihoroboshi, and obviously all the arts are different, right? But I'm fine with assuming that Rena kills Rina every time, or I think Shion messes with the body. I think it's actually a good call. I think it's like if we're looking at anybody who would kill and or like mutilate the body in Watanabe style, obviously Takano pops up. I can see Oishi kind of popping up because he probably knows about that stuff. But it just made so much sense. Shion just, I don't know, it clicks with me because she shows the body, it scares Teppei. Teppei goes back to Hinamizawa, and Satoko becomes miserable. I feel like that's just a Shion plan, huh? And we know she knows about Teppei and Rina. She saw them. There's just so much. Again, the body thing might not happen, but I'm calling it for Totoroshi. I think Shion did it, which is interesting because I didn't know who it was. I just default to Takano for that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's kind of weird through this arc. I'm really like starting to like view Totoroshi differently, even though this isn't the corresponding one, because I didn't love Totoroshi, but now looking back at it from like a theoretical side, it's probably like the hardest one to actually like figure out if you're trying really hard, just because like every single suspect is literally just missing at the latter half of the game, like Oishi, Takano, so Shion's not even there, Mion, Rena, like everyone's just gone. It's such a hard game to figure out, so I think that's the charm of it that I kind of missed in my review, or I missed in my playthrough. Honestly, I didn't notice it just because it was such a heavy arc, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Um, but right now, Rena's just in a refrigerator, so I'm assuming this is Rena talking to the dad. I don't know if it might be a time skip because Rena disappeared. I'm just wondering where the story can go from here. Um, maybe I'm just wrong about the Shion thing for now. But we'll see, because obviously Rena's probably gonna comfort the dad. But what can happen next? If I had to predict, maybe Oishi looks for Rina, and I mean, again, Oishi might actually personally know Rina because he visits the Blue Mermaid, where she either also works at or used to work at, because she works at a different place currently. I don't know if you can have two jobs. It doesn't really sound right as a hostess having two clubs to go to. Maybe even Kasai and the Sonozakis will look, because they technically worked under them. Rina did, anyways. And I think this will be like a Rena trying to hide stuff thing. And I guess we'll get to see what happens after that. I'm sure it'll probably get to the normal Watanabe stuff, and Takano and Tomodachi dies. And that should be interesting. I really want to see, which I never really like thought of this, but I do want to see a interaction between Takano and Rena, like one-on-one, because they're both kind of even though we haven't seen it this much, Rena clearly believes in Oyashiro-sama, but we didn't see her go really crazy over the deity. But I don't know, I just connect I mean, obviously Rika too, but I connect those two as like the followers. Like Rika is like Rika can be an incarnation of Yasha, but I think of Rena or I used to think of Rena and Takano as like the crazy, I don't know, like worshippers, cult-like people. But yeah, let's see what's happening. I'm like fairly sure Rena's just talking to her dad. I don't know if it's a time skip or if she's just doing this. Playing it very smooth for someone who just killed someone, but obviously Rena has a special mental state. Oh, that's it. So no time skip. That was the first thing I said after I got home. My father looked stunned. He noticed the sad tone in my voice, and realizing that I didn't agree with the idea of his remarriage, he looked down.
無理もないよな。レイナの気持ちもわかるよ。事前にレイナにもよく相談。
プロポーズなんて取り消せばいい。あんな女。
あんな女なんて言い方しちゃダメだ。
Ooh, going right for the fighting words. She doesn't even need to force the issue because Rina is gone, but
リナさんは
本当のことを話す。あの女と鉄という男は二人組の悪人。我が家の財産を狙ってお父さんに近づいてきただけ。
Ooh. My father didn't get it right away. Of course, he looked upset instead because I called her that woman. I should have chosen my words a little more carefully, but I think I told him the truth clearly enough. I told him everything I heard and saw at the coffee house. As expected, he defended Rina anyway. I was upset, but at the same time, it made me certain that there's no other way than to kill her. I felt the pressure on my shoulders lessen for some reason. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't feel bad about Rina's death. She literally tried to kill Rena. I feel like she didn't need to do that. Because I think it was pretty obvious the father would have taken Rina's side. Not because he doesn't love Rena, but just because, just how it was described, how he's depressed all these years. And he thinks a hostess loves him back or whatever. And yeah, it's just how it goes, right? I don't fully blame the father, honestly. But like, I think if they just like, she didn't try to do that and she just left, I don't think I think it would have went more smoothly for her. Obviously she didn't expect Rena to freaking start beating her with an iron pipe, but yeah, I don't know. So killing so easily, like being willing to kill so easily. And I mean, technically I feel like Rena would have come to the conclusion to kill her anyways, but like being the aggressor to kill so easily, kill a child is it's kind of cringe, Rena. I gave you some credit, alright? I thought I gave you a little bit % chance that you might actually not be. I mean, you could still be a bad person and still love the dad, but yeah, it's done, okay? My father thought he needed my approval for his remarriage, so he held back his anger and put a fake smile on his face instead.
なあ、レイナ。もう一度ゆっくりとお父さんたちと話し合おう。
His voice just sounds weak. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be the one to talk about weak sounding voices, but I don't know, it always sounds like he's about to cry. And I know in this situation he could, but I feel like in the other situations he just sounds like he's about to cry. I'm not making fun of it. It's just an interesting choice for the voice actor.
そうすればきっと分かってくれるから。
I think it just suits his personality, kind of. A tamed animal is still tamed even after the owner is dead. That's okay. I'll open the gate anyway. Even a tamed animal will notice one day that he's no longer in captivity. That's not something that I could teach him. He had to realize it on his own. I couldn't stand his fake smile anymore, so I left the living room. Time healed the pain from the divorce. Time heals any kind of pain, just like how dripping water will eventually bore a hole through solid rock. Well, it didn't sound like time really healed the pain from the divorce. It sounded like he was still super depressed, and Rina came. And it also doesn't sound like Rena's fully healed. I mean, she's a bit healed, but obviously it's not. It's still a star, I guess. I don't know about that. Time heals any kind of pain. I feel like it's true in most circumstances, I guess. But I guess like something's just sting forever, huh? I'm young. I think it's kind of hard to have an outlook on that, but I don't know. I did what I could do. Now I'd have to wait. But the day I was going to wait for came earlier than I expected. At midnight of the following day, we had a visitor. Zoishi. Nope, it was Teppei. Oof. It was that Tetchan man. Teppei Hojo. I was spelling his name wrong in the comments. Unlucky. I'm sorry, I'm not going to remember Teppei's name. Well, this is awkward. Teppei didn't even knock on the door to get in. He broke into the house by smashing the window. Well, he did say he is very protective of Rina. But this should also kind of help the dad realize she wasn't a great person. So it's a win-win unless Teppei kills us. At first I thought he came here to ask about Rina's whereabouts, but I was wrong. The real reason why Teppei came here was because it was their plan. Ah, that's funny. It was the last stage of their badger game. Rina was probably supposed to be in bed with my father at that time tonight. Teppei must have wanted to show up and catch them sleeping together. That's awkward. Teppei looked around the house, but he couldn't find Rina. He didn't change the plan though. He grabbed my father by his collar and started yelling threats. He showed my father a certificate of marriage to Rina and shouted at him saying, "You got my wife pregnant. How are you going to take responsibility?" My father had no idea she was married. He looked shocked. My father is a short guy who is faint of heart. He just let Teppei do and say whatever he wanted from beginning to end. I looked at them from a distance coldly. The more Teppei yelled and threatened my father, the faster he'd wake up from his bad dream. This was medicine for him. Teppei was cutting out the cancer that I was going to depend on time to do, and he was doing a great job of it. Shock therapy. I waited to help my father until I was sure that he finally awakened from his bad dream. I told Teppei that I had something very important to tell him and took him outside.
Rina さんって昨日以来沖宮に帰ってますか？実はリナさん、事情があって隠れてるんです。あ？どういうことじゃ？リナさんから哲平さんが来たら連れてきてほしいと言われてるんです。
Okay, but this is obviously going in a different direction, huh? So, I guess we're not gonna see the corpse Watanagashi style killed. Because Teppei is probably gonna die now. Teppei followed me without hesitation. We walked in the dark with a flashlight to the place where nobody comes and nobody can hear us, the place forgotten. He asked me many things on the way, but I couldn't answer any of them. I just told him to ask Rina. The way I said it seemed to make him think that Rina was going to betray him and get married to my father for real. Even though he was breathing heavily in a rage, he walked right behind me without any suspicions. I knew this day was going to come very soon, so I was well prepared for it. We reached the place I originally planned to bring him, and I turned off the flashlight all of a sudden. Everyone gets nervous when the only light in the dark goes off. But this is my territory. I didn't need any light. I could feel my surroundings even better with my eyes closed. Well, Jesus. Okay. Okay. I grabbed the big hatchet I'd hidden in a bush and lifted it up high.
ごめんなさい。電池の接触不良かな。ちょっと待ってくださいね。
ああ、はよせんとね。
I purposely sounded weak and helpless, while I raised the hatchet into the air.
ああ、ライターあるわ。
Uh-oh. Oh man. Teppei found a lighter in his pocket and lit it up. He probably couldn't understand the sight illuminated by the small light. He saw a girl lifting up a big hatchet right in front of him. Damn, I would love to see the CG of that. Teppei's eyes went wide. He didn't understand what was going on, but he understood that his life was in danger. And yet he must not have been able to think fast enough to deal with it, even though he understood what he should do. Even if he could think fast enough and blocked his head with his arms, it wouldn't have meant anything. I knew Teppei would come to my house eventually. That's why I prepared for that day. I just didn't think preparation was going to bear fruit tonight. I chose my weapon very carefully. I planned when, where, and how I was going to attack him. And so, there can only be one result. Bye. Well. The hatchet cut deeply into his forehead. I did not think Teppei was going to die. I mean, obviously it's its own arc thing, but this is already different. I mean, one good thing about this is we probably won't see a depressed Satoko. Woo, that's good. I felt an indescribable vibration through the hatchet when it hit him, and this told me that I broke his skull. He brayed about how good he was at fighting at the coffee house, but he sure went down quickly when faced with a murderous weapon. He was done in by a single blow. Teppei slowly fell to his side with the hatchet in his forehead. He looked like a victim in a B-movie. Cold-blooded Rena. I killed this big guy with just one hatchet. He was probably quite experienced in the world of violence. But I was better than him when it came to killing. Why? Because I've killed someone before. It's all done now. The bad people who deceived my father and tried to rob him blind are all gone. I did what I had to do in order to protect my life. If I had this much courage and determination when my mom told me about the divorce, I might have killed Akihito. If I did, I would have taken the life of only one. Because I couldn't do it back then, I've had to kill 2 people in the last 2 days. Rena, let's finish it up. There's already a place to hide his body. I took care of everything. My hands were wet, so I shone the flashlight at them. I thought it was blood, but it was just sweat. Even so, I still felt uncomfortable and shone the flashlight at my hands several times. That's a loud train. Yeah, my window's perma open in autumn. I'm just gonna wait for that. That's actually a loud train. Just because people said they couldn't hear it, so just gotta bless them. Also, like I said, I am now, like I said previously, I'm now a fan of crickets. I never really appreciated them, and I'm good to see that there's some crickets in Higurashi. It's a nice change of pace from the cicadas. Surprisingly, though, they're not out tonight, which would have been cool, having crickets resonating with each other, but guess they're not here. Hopefully they come back. They are great at making me fall asleep. I did all this in order to be happy. I did all this, so I should be happy now. I tried so hard that I got blood on my hands. I wanted to get credit for that from him. Oyashiro-sama. Let me ask you a question. I can finally rewind time back to the day of everything started to go wrong, can't I? I'm going to stay in Hinamizawa. I'm going to live happily. With my father forever. This is always a cool background. We've seen it a bit. Nice shot of the village. Rice paddies always just look so good to look at. We're zooming. 2 dead people. Oh, Keiichi vision. It's been a while, Keiichi. I wonder like what's the point of Keiichi vision in this? Because besides the fun stuff, we haven't really seen too much. I guess it's just, again, showcase. Well, I'm just making assumptions. There might be like some weird juxta stuff where Keiichi's like super scared, but Ren is like super calm. It would have been really cool to see some of Rena's vision and like watch Higurashi going through the whole Shion stuff. That would have been fun. But anyways, what's up, buddy? It's rare to see Rena sleep in class. She isn't the kind of girl who sleeps in class because of staying up so late. She had to be tired from doing housework or something. Everybody seemed to be thinking the same thing. Nobody tried to wake her up, not even Shia-sensei. She got up for a few seconds and then went back to sleep. I don't know. I've never slept in class before. I just couldn't do it. I feel like obviously teachers would get mad at you, but even if I was sleepy, I don't know. It's just not comfortable. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really too much of a sleeper, which maybe you might know, but I don't know. I think just because how shitty my bed is, I do enjoy it when I get to sleep in a better bed once in a while. It actually like feels so good. But yeah, generally it's like, why sleep when you can do literally anything else? Is my logic for most things. She swayed back and forth like she was rowing a boat. But she's in class, so I should wake her up, right? I was about to wake her up, but before my hand touched her, Mian gave me a sign not to. Let her chill. 2 kills in 2 days. She's going on a streak. Who else is like fodder for Rena? Nah, I mean, she probably won't kill anyone else. I mean, if anyone's... This is definitely gonna be an arc where if anyone gets a little crazy or threatening someone, I can just see Rena killing them. Which is kind of funny. So I mean, I don't know, talking to Oishi's on the chopping block. Yo, Oishi versus Rena. I can see that. I feel like Rena, like Oishi just gives such a dangerous vibe. Should be easy kill. Well, not easy. Probably the hardest because he has a gun, probably, but I don't know. Fun stuff. Just don't kill. Well, we know none of the main cast dies, at least until the meeting. Maybe Shion. I heard a few days ago that Rena lives with her father. She studies during the day, plays a lot after school, and does things around the house after that. I didn't know that. I also didn't know her mother had divorced her father. That probably made that last conversation pretty awkward. I mean, Keiichi's just the king of awkward situations, though, at this point. Mian told me that, and she also told me not to talk about it because Rena is still hurt by the divorce. Literally everybody in the club. It's honestly a requirement of the club to have been in a tough backstory.
レナはそういうのを表に出さないタイプだよね。ひょっとすると普段陽気に振る舞っているのもそういう風に意識して振る舞っているからかもね。
Rena told me that happy days for one day come to an end. She told me she knew that firsthand. What could she have been through? I had no idea. That's probably why she tried to spend as much time as peacefully and cheerfully as she could. I must have hurt her feelings when I said I was bored of having happy days. When I thought about it, I felt bad for living off my parents who are both healthy and happy. I mean, at least Keiichi is recognizing it, just so it doesn't happen again. Also, except for this statement, I don't know what this means. Especially living off your parents. You're like 15. For that matter, Satoto and Rita-chan lost their parents too. Mion lives with her grandmother, away from her parents, because she needs to learn to be the head of the Sonozaki family in the future. When I realized all that, I felt bad about my situation.
別にケイちゃんが両親と生活してることを申し訳なく思うことはないよ。
Yeah, I know it's kind of awkward now knowing about everyone else, but like, shouldn't feel bad about living in a better family situation than like everyone else. It's kind of weird. You know, just don't be insensitive, but you don't have to like. I don't know. you know what I'm trying to say. Mion seemed to have read my mind. She said it with a cool expression on her face. Very cool.
確かに家族ってのは
Mion's always cool.
生まれてきた子供である私たちにとって一番最初のコミュニティなんだと思う。でもね、コミュニティは家族だけじゃないんだよ。
True.
仲間か。
True.
分かってるじゃん。
俺たちはレナにとって家族に負けないくらいの存在なんだろうか。
Kind of. I don't know. Seems like there's almost a different value on the two. Even though I agree with the statement that there's more communities than family if one goes like awry, but I feel like Rena's, I don't know.
それに疲れて昼寝だけして過ごすことだって
Also the
レナに
song,
はできるんだよ。
I don't know. The song's not peaceful for me. I just remember it in my Tashi and it being kind of spooky, like this weird off notes or whatever, how it just dips kind of spooks me out.
でもレナはそれをしない。放課後の時間いっぱいを私たちと部活をして過ごす。それはつまり、なんて言えばいいのかな。そう、仲間ってことなんだよ。
レナにとっては家族と同じくらいの意味のある仲間ってことな
That
のか。
could be true. I mean, it made sense. Mion looked stunned, as if she didn't understand what I was talking about. I'm a little confused too. What's happening? I think, okay. Let's see what Mion says.
ああ、ケイちゃんが今日まで仲間って言葉をどういう意味で使ってきたか知らないけどさ、仲間ってのは家族と全く同格じゃないのかな。
I see. So Mion just thought it was yeah, I guess it made sense with the community thing. That is just a natural conclusion to think of as friends as valuable as family. I guess it just depends on the person. Because I think you just set your own values on things. I don't think I have friends I like, I don't know, value as much as my family. And to be honest, while I do love my family, I don't know. I love myself. I value myself more than, I don't know. It's a weird situation. I guess my relationships aren't as strong as others. Like, I don't have friends I think that I would put near my family, but I don't think I'd put a lot of my family members like near how much I like myself, besides like maybe my father and my dad and like my grandparents. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's a good way.
難しく考えることではないのですよ。
Hi, Rita. I said this before. I think Rita is the best school outfit. It's just the best. I think. Yeah, Satoto's green. I feel like Satoto's green one is like, I don't know, kind of iconic for me just because it stands out so much. But I love these overall things. They look adorable.
居場所があればいい
I
のです
skipped it. That was Rita Chan joined the conversation. That's it.
それがある場所、家族と行ったり仲間と行ったり、呼び方が少し変わるだけのことなのですよ。
That is true. I love. While I'm not too sociable. Once you're comfortable with people, it feels a lot
リカちゃんに
better.
とって家族と仲間は同じものか？
僕はそうだと思っていますです。
I'd imagine at least Satoko. I don't know about anyone else, but I do think at least for Satoko, Rika like really cares about her. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know if I trust her, but at the same time, she might have just been trying to kill Shion because she knew it was Shion. But I don't know. If she knew it was Mion, then it kind of puts a wrench into things, huh?
サトコもミーも、そしてレ
Well,
ナもそうだと思いますで
That's
す
her
よ。
words. What about us? Big brother Keiichi.
だから私たちはいつも一緒にいようとするんじゃないかな。
Yeah, I mean they're very close. It's pretty impressive, honestly, because Rena's only been there for what, 2 years? I mean, I guess that's a long time, in a small town. I guess it's just hard to relate. Because I live in the city, like pretty much my whole life.
リカちゃんはみんなといると寂しくないか？
I've been to small town. I have some family living in Sudbury and up north a bit, and it's nice being there. I think it's hard to say what I would prefer to live in. Like I kind of like the idea of just having like the grocery store like 5-10 minutes away, just having everything like close together just feels better to me. I like the convenience, but can't lie, it does just give a more relaxing feel in the countryside. Also, I'm sure there would be a lot more crickets to satisfy my daily cricket listening at night. Yeah, I don't know.
みんなは家族なのです。寂しくなんかないのですよ。
Mia nodded in agreement. Satoko was talking with her other classmates, but I'm sure she would nod as well. Rena would too.
俺ちょっと恥ずかしいよ。今日まで俺仲間って言葉を使ってきたけどさ、本当の意味で理解してなかったと思う。仲間ってのはもっともっと大切でかけがえのないすげえもんなんだよな。
I mean, I guess it also depends on the definition, right? Like maybe I shouldn't be using friends for some people, maybe just acquaintances or closer acquaintances, and say friends for like the people like they are talking about that are like really close or something.
それすっごく当たり前のことだからさ。もし今日まで分かってなかったなら、よく胸に刻んだ方がいいよ。
I love this talk, but I also get the vibe of that, I don't know, this arc, maybe some other arc. Somebody here's probably gonna try to kill each other. It just, you know, we're reading Higurashi. It just feels like a setup for some friend on friend murdering.
そうするぜ。
あと、それを二度と口にしない方がいいかもだね。今ケイちゃんかなり恥ずかしいこと言ってたと思うよ。
Embrace it, Keiichi. After all that, Mion still made fun of me. I think I understand a little better why Rena was always so serious about having fun. I wanted to be her best friend, and I wanted to do my best to be deserving of her effort. Rare sleeping Rena? Rena snored. It sounded cute. That was a snore? God damn. That's actually the cutest snore I've ever heard. Snores can be cute? Chia sensei let her sleep in class, but she couldn't let her get away with snoring. Unlucky.
委員長、竜宮さんを起こしてください。
Chia.
レナ、
Chia's literally the most innocent person out of all the spider characters. I'm saying it now. Besides, never mind. It's probably like the kids, Tokita and Okamura, not Kaneda. We don't like Kaneda around here in this channel. Never mind. I can actually see Chia killing someone, but I just wanted to talk about Chia. Chia fans rise up. Rena was still half asleep and made a strange noise. Everybody in class laughed. Rena noticed they were laughing at her, woke up right away, and acted like she wasn't sleeping at all. Well, it's really funny, and I burst into a fit of laughter. You know, I kind of like Rena's straw outfit too. I haven't really been looking at them. Mion's looks kind of janky. I don't know why. It kind of suits her personality though, but I still think Rika's the best. I don't know, between Rena and Satoko. I feel like Rena's looks probably better, but I don't know, Satoko's is just iconic. Anyways, back to the story. It looked really funny and I burst into a fit of laughter. Ha 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 ha. Outside the window, the sky was blue, and the clouds were pure white. It was still June, but it looked like the middle of summer. Also, I feel like they should have just put the chapter break after Teppei died. It feels like a weird transition from killing someone into this, huh? This perfect weather wouldn't last forever. It could get cloudy and rain all of a sudden. That's why we had to play and raise a ruckus while we still had this perfect weather. The cries of the cicadas sound as if they're laughing at us because we still have some classes left. Damn it, I can't wait for school to finish. See that dip in the soundtrack? So weird.
ケイチ君すっごく嬉しそうだね。今日は何かあるの？
別に今日何かあるわけじゃないぜ。今日は今日だし、明日は明日だろ。
Yeah. I mean, that's a true statement.
それで十分。
It's a weird statement.
明日の天気なんか知ったこっちゃないってことさ。だから今日という日を俺は精一杯遊び倒したい。
Living in the moment.
いつ天気が崩れたって後悔しないくらいに徹底的にな。
I learned that from Rena. I learned that peaceful days are the happiest days you can have and that they're irreplaceable.
ミオ、今日の部活はなんだ？
Are we really gonna switch to club activities after Rena kills 2 people?
それに最近
That'd
罰
be
ゲームがちょいと刺激不足だぜ。
spicy.
言うねえケイちゃん。そこまで言うなら今日の放課後には生き地獄ってやつを拝ましてあげるよ。
ケイチ君、あんまりみーちゃんを挑発しちゃダメだよ。
おいおい、臆すのかよレナ。上等じゃないかよ。また俺たちの実力で大暴れしてやろうぜ。
Don't bring out the cursed CG.
俺とレナの結局だってまだまだついちゃいないんだからな。
I don't know. It's so funny to me that I used the water gun CG instead of that like really good one of Rena bowing. Instead, I choose the one that looked kind of janky. I don't regret it. I'll probably just use that for like the theory sheet if we have one, I guess. I grinned at her and she grinned back.
それもそうだね。よーし、レナも思いっきり頑張るぞ。
Satoko!
先日の借りがございますものね。
Where were you? this whole time, talking with other friends. Yep, look at that. Iconic. And we won't see sad Satoko unless Shion or someone else is like, I don't know, bullying her. Because Teppei's dead. That's really cool, because we haven't seen a full arc with a happy Satoko since like pre-Higurashi. I mean, she was happy a bit in Maitashi, but that changed pretty fast.
きっちり倍返しさせていただきましてですわよ。
Look at this snaggle tooth. I remember in Honor Takashi, or sometime early, she did not have that tooth, and then someone's like, she always had that tooth. When I remember when it appeared, I'm like, oh my god, they gave her a snaggle tooth. When did that happen? And then someone was like, she always had that tooth, Aiden, but I remembered in the beginning. I swear to God, she actually does not have that tooth. They added that like part way through. I mean, it's a good addition, but I'm just saying, it just popped out of nowhere. Is that a coincidence, or is that a visual clue that this is not the original Satoko we seen in the beginning of Honor Takashi? Keep that in mind, guys. Snaggletooth clue. It's my new theory. I just literally thought up of the second.
いいねいいね。盛り上がってきたよ。
It's gonna slip through it.
早く放課後に
I
なるといい
feel
ので
it.
す。
Or a Wishi's gonna pop in. I have some questions for Rena Ryuru. I couldn't wait either, but I just feel like in this like moment, Rena's not gonna take Owishi's like provocations. Like maybe Owishi isn't gonna attack her or whatever, but Rena might just K him because he's, you know, he gives off the intimidation vibes, and sometimes he actually is intimidating. So that time you spent just talking together is also very precious.
そうだな。早く放課後になるといいな。
Chapter end. That was fairly fast. Wow. I knew we weren't going to see it. My favorite wine. Collateral. Guessing that's a Rita tip? Because all of these have been Ritas. Right? Well, except for that. And that. Wine. Is Rita drinking wine? Satoko went to join the children playing in the schoolyard. Since I didn't feel like going, I decided to stay home. Most likely, she wouldn't be back until the evening. When Satoko wasn't around, I had ways of spending time without her. Besides, that was what I wanted to do anyway. I stuck my hand deep inside the pile of winter futons in the closet and pulled one out. Next, I filled a stylish-looking glass with ice. Ice with wine. That's a little... I mean, obviously it's wrong for a 10-year-old to drink wine. But ice with wine? Is that even a thing? The ice made the freezer smell of chlorine, though, and it didn't taste good. Oh, no. What am I talking about? She's probably just chilling the wine. I thought she was putting, like, ice in the wine. It's weird. Well, maybe it's weird. I'm not a big wine drinker, honestly. Store-bought ice would be the best, but since the Toto kept asking me what I was using it for, I stopped buying it. But it might be worth spending time and thinking about a good excuse for that if I meant I would be able to enjoy ice without ever again smelling the chlorine. Chlorine, not chloride. I filled the glass with mineral water and then poured a little bit of another liquid into the glass. Okay, so it's a very light dosage of wine. I mean, it's still bad, but at least if she's just putting a little bit. You know how your parents give you a little swig, little taste of alcohol, and then you're like, oh, it's so gross. Yeah, but I mean, if she's doing it regularly, then it's obviously a bad thing. And I guess her parents couldn't stop her because she's just maturing at an insane rate, and it also doesn't help that Oyashiro-sama, I guess, is beaming information into her head. This wasn't the right way to drink it, but I liked it that way and didn't want to hear any complaints. My body is very convenient because I can get drunk with only a tiny amount. That's one way to look at it. That's why I dilute the small amount with a full glass of water. And thanks to that, I can enjoy a single bottle for a long time. It wasn't bad if you thought about it like that. I put a cushion on my favorite spot by the window, and with the glass in one hand, I enjoy the familiar view and soft wind brushing through my hair. Man, I just wish I could do that. I don't know. It just feels like all the entertainment I get is in front of my computer. I then good thing about the countryside, huh? I feel like I could late night. I don't know, give me a beer, give me some crickets. I think I could chill. It's just so hard. It's like when you're here, it's like, yeah, I could go to the park across the street. Actually, I can't because it's closed at 7 and the police are there for corona measures. But I could go, but it's like, it's just different, right? Man. And with the glass in one hand, I enjoy the familiar view and soft wind brushing through my hair. A slightly sweet, ripened aroma tickled my nose. And just when I was about to start enjoying the atmosphere, the annoying one came back. She didn't like this bad habit of mine, and she complained every time I tilted the glass. So it's not Satoko. It's obviously not Satoko. I didn't think it was Satoko. My guess is it's like, because of how mature this person is sounding, I think it's like, I'm just trying to call it the burnt castle Rika. I don't know. The mature Rika. The Rika that tried to assassinate Shion. And then there's the real Meeper Rika who's just cutesy. And yeah, it's like the cute side and the one who knows a lot more side. I think. That's my perception. Unless she's like talking about Oyashiro-sama. And Oyashiro-sama's a girl. Either way, I think it's one of those two. She started nagging me noisily. See that? So obviously it's like Burn Castle, the mature Rika we don't really see. But it was obviously the one that attacked Shion. So I think it's gonna be like the cutesy Rika. Or Oyashiro-sama. Literally no one else. I don't think there's another character there. We don't know another little kid. I mean, that's a female. Nope, that's a new name. She's dropping dusters like crazy. I appreciate it. Obviously I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna figure out the voice because it's completely new. I tried to ignore her, but she started making a fuss as if trying to ruin the atmosphere on purpose. I mean, whoever you are. Well, now I don't think it's the cutesy Rita because that just sounds like a new person. Oyashiro-sama? Is that Oyashiro? Is Oyashiro-sama a little girl? But I mean, I support this. Stop Rita from drinking wine. Sounds good to me. I tried to ignore her, but she started making a fuss as if trying to ruin the atmosphere on purpose. There's no way I could enjoy getting drunk like this. I glared at her and threw the drink out of the window. Because you're bored. Never mind. Sorry. Force of habit. I'm depressed. It seemed like she finally understood why I wanted to drown myself in alcohol. That made sense. She already predicted her death from childhood. Yes. Guess she's not full Burn Castle, so. Yet. It's hints. She dies instantly. Instantly means no choking, no throat ripping, probably a gunshot. I feel like that's almost the only way to kill instantly, or like a really well stab. That's cool. So she was mutilated after death. Oh, my body will be burned and cut in pieces, but I'll be able to die instantly. Could be like the disaster.
またダメなのです。
Man.
そうね。またダメね。これだと私の命日はいつだっけ？6月の25日の夜だと思いましたです。
I don't remember dates. Can someone remind me about when that is? I don't remember. On the timeline. It's not the Higurashi festival.
綿流しの祭りが終わっ
Week
て
after. Okay, beautiful.
1週間後か。
Beautiful.
まあ妥当なあたりね。
Beautiful. So she dies in every arc, but we don't see the... Well, except maybe on Higurashi, because we don't see it after. Because Keiichi's dead.
やっぱり僕のせいなのでしょうか。
I feel like this isn't Oyasho-sama. It just doesn't feel like all-knowing. I don't know what this is then.
あんた自覚ないの？
Oh no. She was the one who asked me, yet she cried when I told her she was right. Oh. Geez, she's always so annoying.
頑張りましょう。次のすごろくではきっと6が立て続けに出てくれることもあるわよ。
Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. June 25th. I still had 10 more days. I was trying to relax and enjoy those 10 days. I still had some wine left too. Interesting. I don't know. It doesn't... I don't think Oyasho-sama would be like a little girl, so I don't know what that could be. Maybe that's the person, maybe it's not Oyasho-sama, maybe it's like... It's something. Maybe that's the person that's freaking supercharging her mind. I mean, that made sense, kind of. Whatever it is. Like, maybe Rita's not blaming her for her death, but she's blaming her for her, like, giving her all the knowledge so she knows about her death. Which is interesting. I think that's it. I don't know anything else. But yeah, Rita drinking wine, huh? Getting the deep dive into Rita through these. Yeah, I'm not too much of a wine drinker. I don't know. People say it's an old person drink, but I don't agree. I feel like the only time I see people drinking wine is like women my age. Instead of drinking like hard liquor, they usually like drink, or beers, they drink wine. Or like shots of wine. I don't know. I don't hate it. But yeah, I really only drink wine when I'm with like my grandparents, because they always drink wine every meal. I'm definitely a red guy. I think white wine tastes absolutely disgusting. I don't know why. It does not taste well to me. I've never tried pink wine. I don't know what that is. I know it's a thing. And champagne, I guess, is the combination. Champagne's great, but I don't know if you consider that really wine. But yeah, thanks for watching. I guess we'll just end it here. Weird session. We got a pretty clean kill. Much cleaner than Keiichi's Teppei kill. And then we get some Keiichi realization. That's always good. Once Keiichi realizes stuff, it helps. It will help the situation. Whatever the situation is. But I hope you enjoyed this start of the new week, right? Monday's episode. And yeah, hope to see you next time. I don't know what's happening next. I guess my predictions is just maybe Rena might kill some more people. Maybe this is just an arc where like if someone threatens Rena, she deals with it. I'm not sure though. That's what I have to see. But yeah, thanks for watching as always, and I will see you next time. Haboo.